All right, next we're going to talk about solving and graphing inequalities. So we just looked at a couple of problems where we solved an inequality. Now let's solve and graph. So looking at the first problem, let's go ahead and rewrite it in the first box. So we have negative 2x plus 5 is less than 13. Now, we're going to solve this two-step inequality the same way we solve a two-step equation. The only thing different here is we're not going to use an equal sign. Do not replace your inequality symbol with an equal sign, because an equal sign means I only have one answer. With the inequality, you have multiple answers. And then the other difference is that we're going to have to flip the inequality symbol if we multiply or divide by a negative. So what is my first step here?
Subtract 5.
Subtract 5, because 5 is being added to x. So subtract 5 to both sides of the inequality. 5 minus 5 is 0. We're left with negative 2x is less than 8. So now to solve for x, I need to divide by. What happens to my inequality symbol? It's going to flip because I divided by a negative. I'm left with x is greater than. What is 8 divided by 2? Negative 4. So now I'm going to go over to my, just a little bit. I'm going to go over to my number line, and I'm going to label some numbers on here. So I'm going to put negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, put negative 5 here. So let's think about our rules we learned last year. When we graph something that is less than, are we going to have an open dot or closed dot? Open. So I'm going to write over here, greater than or less than, we have an open dot. So at negative 4, I'm going to put an open dot. And we are greater than negative 4, so which direction are we going to go? Towards the positive or towards the negative? Towards the positive. So now we can choose a number from our graph. What number you want to use?
Negative 2.
Negative 2, and let's plug it in and check and see if our answer is right. So negative 2 times negative 2 plus 5 is less than 13. So negative 2 times negative 2 is 4 plus 5 is less than 13. What's 4 plus 5? 9 is less than 13. Is that true?
Yes.
So we have the right numbers. So if we wanted to go overboard, we could go in and plug in all those numbers, but that would take too long. So we can just choose one number and plug it in. Now, if we had done it wrong, we did the arrow going the opposite direction, and we decided let's plug in 5, negative 5. Negative 5 times 2 would give us 10, negative 10, no, positive 10, and positive 10 plus 5 is what? 15. No. Yes. And is 15 less than 13?
No.
So right there, it would have told us your arrow's going in the wrong direction. That answer is not correct. All right? Let's look at the next one. Negative 5y is less than 20. So let's rewrite it. Less than, it's not less than. It says greater than. My bad. Negative 5y is greater than 20. So this is a one step. How am I going to solve it?
Divide by negative 5.
Let's divide by negative 5 on both sides. So negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1y. And then 20 divided by negative 5 is Negative 4, I need to flip my inequality, so y is less than negative 4. So now I'm going to do my numbers again. Negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. So I'm going to put an open or closed dot. Open dot at negative 4. And what are my numbers that are less than negative 4? We're going to go to the negative or to the positive? To the negative. These are the numbers that are less than negative 4. Now, a way to check if your variable is first, you always can look at the direction of the inequality symbol, and you'll know what direction your answer is going to be. So this one is less than. This is also looks like a less than. This is greater than. And our graph went in that direction as well. But you have to have the variable first. If your variable is not written like this, then you're going to mess up your answer. All right, let's look at the next one. Oh, let's choose a number and plug it in. Negative 6. So negative 5 times negative 6 is greater than 20. What's negative 5 times negative 6?
Negative 30.
Positive 30 is greater than 20. Is that true?
Yes.
That is true. We got the right set of numbers. I just picked a number that's included over here in my arrow. Just like I did on this one, I picked 2 because 2 is included in my set of numbers. All right. Let's copy and solve the next one. Negative 3y plus 2 is less than or equal to 17. First step to solve. Wrong. We're not dividing first. We're doing PEMDAS backwards. So we got to start with addition and subtraction. Shania, what am I going to do? Subtract 2 to both sides. And so we're going to bring down our negative 3y. So negative 3y is less than or equal to 15. Now what am I going to do? Divide by negative 3 on both sides. And we're left with 1y is, what are we going to do with our inequality symbol? Flip it. Greater than or equal to what? 5. Negative 5. So now we can come over here. Negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. And so is this going to be a closed dot or open dot? Closed. So anything greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, this is a closed dot. And it's closed because we're saying or equal to. So it can be that number. It can be 5 or negative 5. It can be negative 5 and anything greater than that. So I'm going to make a closed dot at negative 5. And then are we going towards the positive or towards the negative? The positive because we are greater than. So what number do we want to plug in?
Negative 5.
We can plug in negative 5. So negative 3 times negative 5 plus 2 is less than or equal to 17. So negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. Positive 15 plus 2 is greater than or equal to 17. What's 15 plus 2?
17.
Is 17 greater than or equal to 17?
Yes.
Yes, so this is true. We got the right numbers. All right. So this next one, we got a multi-step. So there's 2 ways we can solve this. We can first use the distributive property, or we can go ahead and divide by 4. Let's go ahead and use our distributive property. So 4 times x plus 2 is less than or equal to 8. So I'm going to distribute first. So I have 4 times x, 4 times 2. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 2 plus 8. So 4x plus 8 is less than or equal to 8. So now to solve, I need to subtract 8 to both sides. So now I have 4x is less than or equal to 0. And then to solve for x, I need to divide by 4. And x is less than or equal to, what's 0 divided by 4? 0. So x is less than or equal to 0. So now if I come over here, 0, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So 0 is less than or equal to, x is less than or equal to 0. So are we going to have a closed dot or open dot? Closed dot at 0. And we are less than or equal to, so are we going towards the negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative. Less than or equal to. So now what number do we want to plug in?
0.
We already did 0 once. Let's do negative 1. 2, is that included in our set?
No.
No, so why would we plug in 2? Negative 2. Okay, so 4 times negative 2 plus 2 is less than or equal to 8. So negative 2 plus 2 gives me 0. So 4 times 0 is less than or equal to 8. What's 4 times 0? 0. Is 0 less than or equal to 8? Yes. So that works out to be true. All right, I'm going to give y'all the little bit of time we have left. Go ahead and solve these problems on your own. In about a minute, I'll put up the correct answer. Well, in 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. 2 problems, 2 minutes. No. So 2 minutes.